I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I apologize if you can hear the AC in the background, but it's really hot and humid, and I'm trying not to melt in front of you guys in this video. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a couple powders from Huda Beauty. I bought another one of the shade Cherry Blossom, which is the pink one. So there's 20 grams of product, which is a ton, 0.71 ounces, and they're made in Italy. So I bought another one of the Cherry Blossom ones because I opened up the container and dumped the entire container of the Cherry Blossom shade that I purchased a couple weeks back in with an entire bottle, or I shouldn't say bottle, an entire jar of the Flower Nose Circus powder. So this is kind of what it looks like now. It has a pink hint to it. So as you guys know, the Flower Nose Circus powder, which is discontinued and is super sad, and I'm hoping that they'll come out with the formulation again in a future collection. It's one of my all-time favorite setting powders for underneath the eyes. It's literally undetectable, right? And the Flower Nose powder is so translucent, it doesn't really adjust the concealer at all. So I found that adding the Cherry Blossom and like mixing them 50-50 adds just a dash of brightness in with that wonderful Flower Nose formula. And that mixture is what I have underneath my eyes today, and I just love the combination. With a concealer that is light enough and matches me pretty well, I can just use, I got another jar open of just the Circus powder by itself, so I'll go into that one. But for that extra brightness with the greatness that is the Flower Nose Circus powder formula, it's just a beautiful combination for underneath the eyes. So you can kind of see that little mixture right there. So this is a double powder, and it's like filled to the brim, right? Because there was two full powders, and it's like right at the top. Anyway, so I got another one of the Cherry Blossoms in case I really wanted to have like a super bright under eye, or in case it just sells out all the time and doesn't come back in stock, because it's a really beautiful powder. And I loved how nice that powder, the Huda one, looks on its own as well. It's very, very nice. It's not as light as the Flower Nose Circus powder, but it still is a really pretty powder. And so I went ahead and I got another shade of the Easy Bake powder, and this one is in the shade Cupcake. So I wanted one to try to use to set all over my face with a more like skin tone color to it. So that's the shade that I got, was Cupcake. And it is such a beautiful setting powder for all over the face as well. So I'm so glad that I picked up the shade Cupcake as well. And I remember years when they had launched this product, I think I got the translucent version, which was white, and I think it really washed me out, and I ended up not caring for it as much. But now with these two kind of tinted versions, I have a new appreciation for the product. It's so nice. So I do have the Cupcake shade all over to set my face today. So this is what the packaging looks like. It does come with a stopper that's over the powder when you first get it, and then it's got that mesh screen. But what I don't mind about the mesh screen in this one is it doesn't have that like big piece in the cap, so it's easy for me to just tip it upside down and get enough powder inside of the cap, and I can get it evenly distributed on my brush to set my face. So I love these powders. They're so nice. Like I think that's what I did, is I got the original, or the translucent white shade, and I wasn't as crazy about it because of the color. Anyway, that is the shade that I have on my face today. It is so silky smooth, so finely milled. It's really light on the skin. It's not drying. It's just a wonderful product. So yeah, I got another one of Cherry Blossom and the shade Cupcake to set my face. I also picked up the new Nars Light Reflecting Eye Brightener in the shade Night Swan, which is the lightest version, I believe, out of, they have quite a few shades. This is the lightest one. I think there's like 6 or 7. 0.21 ounces of product, or 6 grams. And this one here is made in Canada. So this is the box packaging. And then the actual packaging comes in a frosted glass jar with a white top. So I've got this shade underneath my eyes today, and then I topped it with the Urban Decay concealer, the quickie one, in 10 CP. I originally just wanted to use the shade Night Swan to kind of really get a feel for the product, but it's just too deep for underneath my eyes to use by itself. So I did go in with just a dab of the Urban Decay, and it actually worked out quite nice. This has got a pretty peachy kind of undertone, which is great for brightening. It's very creamy. Like, I find it to be much creamier than the Soft Matte Complete Concealer, which for reference there, you can see that the Soft Matte is in a little bit smaller plastic packaging, and then this one's in a glass jar. But it's very creamy. It reminds me kind of the creaminess that was in the Becca Under Eye Corrector, but it doesn't have like the as much visible like shimmer as in the Becca. There is mica in it, but it's not super obvious like I feel like the Becca one is. And this one is definitely much more peach, whereas the Becca one is much more pink. But this is Night Swan right here. And like I said, it did deepen a little bit underneath my eyes, so I went over it with the Urban Decay concealer. And I really like it though. I think that my eyes look nice and bright, but they're not like overly bright, you know? And it was really easy to blend out, and I actually blended this out and then just topped it with the concealer, which sometimes with a corrector that's too dark, I mix the two products and put them on like that. This one I actually tapped it on, blended it out, and then went over it with the Urban Decay, and the two products layered really well too. So far so good on this guy. It's really nice. It feels nice and hydrating underneath the eyes. It's quite creamy. It's got a good consistency. Do I wish there was one lighter shade with a more pink undertone? Yes. Speaking of, let me just swatch the shade of the soft matte that I have, which is light 1.25 Affogato, so you guys can see kind of the differences in colors. So Affogato is going to be lighter and a little bit more pink in comparison to the corrector shade in Night Swan. And Affogato matches me pretty well, so you can kind of see the difference in tones and also the differences in finishes. So there's a shine to the Nars one, like because of the hydration factor, but it's not like shiny, you know. I also picked up one of the new Give Check My Glow Multi-Dimensional Illuminating Highlighters. So this is a new product from Gwen Stefani's brand, Give. And this guy here has got 0.28 ounces or 8 grams of product, and it is made in Italy. So again, she's got that kind of cute packaging there. So the shade I got is the lightest one available out of, I want to say 3 or 4, and it's Platinum Cowgirl. Fitting, right? And this is what the packaging looks like. It's in line with kind of her other packaging. And I do have this highlight on my face today, so it's got like a checkered, you know, three kind of different shades that I just blended all together there. And this is more your standard kind of powder highlight formula. It's a really pretty like color, and it's light enough for my skin tone, but in comparison to like my normal blinding Can See Me From Space highlighters, this is much more tame in comparison. It is a really pretty highlight though. Like it's just a more tamed down sheer version of a highlighter, especially in comparison with, like I said, those blinding highlights. And I think you can kind of see there that it's not quite as blinding of a highlighter that I normally have in my videos, because I love a very in-your-face highlighter. This is just a more tamed down version, but it is really pretty. It's just a softer, more subtle highlighter. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a swatch of them all together. Like I said, this shade is light enough for my skin tone as well, which is great. No glitters or like micro glitters or anything like that in the product. So if you just like a more tame, finely milled, no like particles of anything highlight, this is really pretty. So again, this guy is the Check My Glow Multi-Dimensional Illuminating Highlighter in Platinum Cowgirl from Give. And I do have this as a highlighter on my face today. I also got the new Lawless Make Me Blush Talc Free Velvet Blush in the newest shade they launched with like a watermelon collection, and it's in the shade Watermelon. So Lawless, their blush in Secura, there's 3 of them that I have that I just absolutely love. This one's got a little bit of a satin sheen to it, or a little bit of a shine factor to it. And it's what I have on my cheeks today. You can see I'm not as blushy as I normally am, because I really had a hard time getting this to stick to my cheeks. Let me finish talking about the product real quick. There's 0.18 ounces or 5.5 grams of product, and this one is made in Italy. This is the box packaging, and I do like how they switched it up to a rose gold as opposed to their black packaging. It's just easier to differentiate the products. So this is what it looks like. It's just a really punchy watermelon blush, like I said, with a satin like shine to it. I don't know what it was. I just could not get it to stick to my cheeks very well. I kept like packing it on, and then I could see it like almost like sitting on top of the skin and not wanting to grab, which was really interesting. So I just kind of kept packing and then trying to blend and packing and try to blend, you know, to get the color on. But, you know, the way that this looks in the pan, it doesn't translate, you know, on my skin the same way. Granted, I do have a drier skin type, but with this humidity it should have been fine. But I just couldn't get it to stick. The color's beautiful, and like when I swatch it on the back of my hand like that, it is pretty, but I did have a hard time with application. So I've got it on the forehead, my chin, my cheeks, and a bit on my nose. And again, with that punchy of a color, it's not really translating like I have a whole lot of blush on, which I do love a real punchy cheek. So I don't know, I'll keep playing around with it and see how it goes, but it was very interesting that when I got up close I could see like the product sitting in like particles on the top of my skin, you know. So I don't know if it's a little bit different formula, or if it's because this one's kind of got some like sheen to it where the other ones that I have are matte. It could be part of it, not 100% sure, but color is really pretty. I like the newer rose gold packaging, but we're gonna have to toy around with that application a couple more times and see how it goes. But that is the new Lawless Make Me Blush Talc-Free Velvet Blush in Watermelon right there. I also got in the last ColourPop order that I placed for 2 products from the Winnie Pooh collection, which was a launch. I think it's been over a year since it like originally came out, and I know it was in high demand, but they recently restocked the collection, and some of the stuff is just so cute. So I got the Honey Pot Lip Scrub and Mask Duo. The lip scrub is 0.28 ounces and the lip mask is 0.23 ounces. This packaging is so cute. And then the little jars, they look like honey pots and they smell like propolis. This is what the jars look like. They are just to die for. And I've tried both the scrub and the mask from ColourPop, and the scrubs are so like gentle and soft that they, like, I had confused the one that came out with I think the Snow White collection for a lip mask, and it was actually the scrub. But anyway, I do like both of these lip products from ColourPop, and this is just the cutest. And there are 2 honeycomb applicators in there as well, which again is just the cutest thing. So I got that little duo, and then I also got the Sweet as Can Be pressed powder palette, which again, the cutest packaging, right? And this guy here has got a total of 0.4 ounces of product across 10 shades, and the cardboard packaging mimics the actual packaging. And I have worn this guy. The shades are magnetized in there as well, and there's Winnie the Pooh with a cute little quote there. And then here are your 10 shades. Got along with it really well. It's a standalone palette for me. Typical nice ColourPop formula as well. And then these guys, I think I recall some people saying they weren't crazy about the formula in this palette when it originally launched, but I mean, when I used it for a look, I didn't have any like problems with it. And there aren't any pressed glitters or super shocks in this guy, so those are the swatches right there of the Sweet as Can Be pressed powder palette. I also grabbed one of their newly reformulated cream gel liners, and I got the shade Crystal Crush, which is a really pretty kind of shimmering blue. And I was so hopeful. You guys know my dilemma with what is the watery eyes that I have, with just eats up makeup. But I was hopeful with this guy, and the shade is so pretty. It's just a really beautiful blue color with a bit of shimmer to it. And I got it on. First I wiped my waterline off with a Q-tip to make sure it was really dry so it would grab onto it really well. And I had a little bit of a hard time trying to get it opaque, so I tried to let it dry and then go over it again to get it opaque, and then it wanted to lift it off the waterline. So I had a really hard time building up the color so it was nice and opaque on the waterline. But I kind of just rolled with it throughout the day, and a couple hours later these inner corners were just filled with blue liner, that's kind of my pet peeve. I don't mind if it like wears off the waterline, but when it tends to navigate in my inner corners, that's just something that like drives me crazy. So unfortunately I was so hopeful with the reformulation, but it's not one for the waterline. These are really creamy on the skin. They seem to last really well, because when I originally swatched this, when I got it out of the box, I was sitting on the deck when the package came or whatever, and I swatched it on my hand, and it had sat there for, I don't know, a half hour or something, and it was really hard to try to, you know, scrub it off of the skin. So it's creamy and it lasts well on the skin, but for me it's not a waterline pencil liner, which you guys know I'm always on the hunt for a good one. But the color again is super pretty. So this one here again is Crystal Crush. Look at that color, it's so pretty. And then I finally got in the order that I placed on the Glamlite website for their Scooby-Doo, their latest Scooby-Doo. It's like a sequel to the Scooby-Doo original collection. I placed the order within, like, I don't know, 30 seconds of it launching on the website, and it took like weeks before I got a shipping confirmation. I was just like, what the heck? And there was probably a notation on the website saying it was going to be, you know, X amount of time for shipping. But anyway, I finally got it this past week, and I did throw in 3 pairs of the Michaela Code Orange eyelashes as well, because I wanted to get free shipping and I was just under it, and these were on sale, so I added these guys into the order so that I could get free shipping, because these are some of my favorite eyelashes. They are the ones that I've got on my eyes today. I typically cut off about 1/3 on the outside because they're just too big for my eyes otherwise, but I really love these lashes, and I think I've been wearing this pair I don't know, like the past 10 videos. I think I've been wearing the same pair. So they're pretty durable eyelashes as well. So I got those for the free shipping. And then I picked up the Blush Duo palette, and this guy's got 0.42 ounces of product in it, and it says it's made in China. So this is the box packaging right here, and then it's got one of those like flippable fronts on it, so you can kind of flip it to change the scenes like that. That's what the back looks like. And these are both really pretty blush shades for the summertime. There's a really punchy coral and a really punchy pink shade, and they are very pigmented. They stuck to my skin well and they blended out really nice too. There was some embossing in there of a fingerprint and a flower, but two really good ones for summer for sure. So that is the Blush Duo palette from the collection right there, and they are both matte blushes. And then I forgot to mention the Give highlighter that I had talked about. It's got a fragrance to it, and you can definitely smell it. I don't find like it lingers on the face or anything like that, but there is a fragrance in there. So I wanted to mention that because I know not everybody likes a fragrance in their product. The Huda Beauty also has fragrance to it, but it's another one that I don't find lingers on my skin. So anyway, wanted to make mention of that. And then I also got the Glamlite and Scooby-Doo 25 shade face and body palette. And I'm assuming, which is something that I've been noticing, is they've been referring palettes to body palettes because some of the shades are not eye safe, and I'm assuming this is the same thing for this. So there are 30 grams, there is 30 grams of product, or 1.05 ounces across 25 shades, so you're getting a lot of product in here. And this guy is also made in China. So this is the box packaging. There's little asterisks next to the numbers on the back that indicate not intended for use in the eye area, probably because they stain. So that's why they're throwing like the body component into the title of the palette. That's just kind of a little way to skip around it, but a lot of the times they're not intended for the eye area because of that staining, and I can vouch for that because before I noticed that on the packaging, I did go in and use this palette a couple times, and of course I went into these bright purples and my lids were pink. I loved the look that came out of it though. The looks, I should say, because I've worn it a couple times, but I did get staining with those shades. So I'm assuming the shades on the back that have that, or on the box that have that asterisk, are going to stain the skin. So I didn't have any irritation or anything like that, but so this is a big guy. It's also got that flippable front on it, which is really, really cute. And on the back of it, it doesn't notate what shades aren't intended for the eye area, but there is this sheet with the numbers on it. But if you leave the sheet inside and you don't keep the box, you're not gonna like know what shades they're referring to. So maybe it was just to initially have the sheet on the front so you could point out the shades based off of what it says on the back of the box. But anyway, here's the inside. Like, how cute. There's a mirror with Scooby in there, and then here are your 25 shades. I really get along with the Glamlite eyeshadow formula. This particular palette, there isn't a matte highlight shade or a bright kind of lid shimmery shade in it either. So the times that I'd use this, while I love the looks that came out of it, I incorporated the Scooby-Doo highlighter duo palette that came with their first launch. I love this. I was actually going to buy a backup of it, but it's been sold out for quite a while, and I don't know if they're going to restock it or not. But there's a pink tone one and then a green golden flip highlighter in this palette that's just super pretty. So when I've worn this, I pair it with that, and it's like the looks are just really, really nice. So let's give you guys some swatches here. There is kind of a bit of negative space in there, but maybe it's because it's got the cute cartoons in the background and you can kind of see them better, you know? Just really, really beautiful colors. And then these next ones. And then these guys. And then these next ones. There are some similar colors to those two palettes they did in the original launch, which I loved those palettes, even though I had to bring in the highlighter palette for those as well. Love this mustard shade. And then this last row here. So pretty. Running out of space. And then these last two. Super pigmented. So that guy right there is the Glamlite Scooby-Doo 25 color palette right there. And then I got in the flower nose order that I placed to get the rest of the mermaid pieces that I didn't get in PR, and for some other items that I didn't have from other collections, because I love this brand. And with my order, they sent a free brush, which I gave to my mom because they sent me the one in PR. I got a makeup brush roll, I got a hair clip, and I got, I believe, like a tote bag, and those were all for free. So they always do really good sales and like throw in freebies and stuff in your package, which I think is quite nice. So I grabbed the other two eyeshadow palettes from the mermaid collection that I didn't get in PR. I got number 3 Ocean Siren, which they have different coloring on their packaging too, so you can differentiate between them, and it's just so pretty. Like, they're nice, they're weighted, they're just have some of the most stunning packaging on the market in my opinion. So again, this is number 3 Ocean Siren, and this is mostly a neutral safe palette with just a pop of a mint green, but it's a really soft green. And then this center shade right here, it is a little bit stiff, so like I take a flat shader and I kind of like poke it in there to break the product up because there's quite a bit of binder, but over a tacky base it's got the most beautiful sparkles in it. Out of the 5 palettes, this was the stiffest of the shimmer shades out of the 5, but again, it looks really pretty over a tacky base. And these mattes are some of the most silky smooth mattes. Now you can see that beautiful shimmer in that color. I love every single one of the eyeshadow palettes in this collection. And then this brown over here, which is just deep enough for my crease. Any lighter and I would have been wishing for something a little bit darker for my hood to like recess it, but that one right there again is Ocean Siren. It's so pretty. See the mermaids on there? And then I got the fifth one in Moonlight Land. And this here is so stunning. Talk about a beautiful wearable blue eyeshadow palette. It's a one and done for me as well. I put this guy underneath the brow and then these two shades on the lid, and then I put this one in the crease, blended out with that one, and hinted that one kind of at the base of the brow, and the look was just stunning. Like one of those palettes, for me at least, like with the blues, that isn't intimidating at all. It's so pretty. It kind of reminds me of my love for Wayne Goss's Pearl Moonstone palette, which is one of my favorite blue eyeshadow palettes. This one here is up there. It's stunning. And this shade here. Gosh, these shadows, you guys, they're so soft. Like, think a bag of flour. Like how soft a bag of flour is. So that guy right there is the number 5 palette in Moonlight Land right there. It's got the blue cover. From the same mermaid collection, I grabbed the other 2 blushes that I didn't have. I got number 1, Snow Goddess, and number 3, Coral Jellyfish. So this one is Snow Goddess, yeah, number 1. And this one here, I'm not going to swatch it because it's so pretty. And it's a really light shade, which a lot of the Flower Nose blushes are quite light. And I kind of just want to preserve it because I don't think, and I wouldn't know unless I put it on my cheeks, but I don't think it's going to be one that I would use a whole ton because it's very, very, very light. And I wanted to keep some of these with the pristine embossing. So I'm not super helpful with this one, but I will swatch the other one that I got. This one is again is number 1, Snow Goddess. And then the other shade is number 3, Coral Jellyfish, which is a really pretty coral shade. And then again with that embossing. Oh, pains me. But you can see here too that that's also a very, very light shade. So I'll kind of get some more from the bottom of the blush. And that guy right there is Coral Jellyfish. Just beautiful, beautiful weighted, very beautiful packaging too. And their formulas are absolutely beautiful. With their blushes, though, they do run very, very light. I don't think that speaks for the formula of the product. It just speaks for the coloring, you know what I mean? So I also grabbed the 3 blushes from their Strawberry Rococo collection that I didn't have. So I got number 1. This has got 5 grams of product in it. And I'm going to leave this guy too. It's going to be similar to Coral Jellyfish, as you can see right there, just to preserve the embossing. I'd used all of the ones, or the other, I think there's 2 or 3 from the same collection that I had prior that I've been using. And the one that I have actually been wearing quite a bit because it's the most pigmented out of the bunch is the shade number 5. And this one's Berry Mary. And this has got the pink front to it. And you can see right there, it's got quite a bit more pigmentation to it. And I've worn this quite a few times, and it's just so easy to put on. So that one is Berry Mary from the Strawberry Rococo. And I think they're having a really good sale right now as well because they're discontinuing a couple of these collections. And then the third one from that collection is number 4, Dream Chaser. This is also a pretty light kind of mauve shade. And this is in the black packaging. I'll give you a swatch of this guy. So you can see right there, it's also another blush that's pretty light. So that one again is Dream Chaser number 4 from the Strawberry Rococo collection. And then lastly, I grabbed the other 2 from their Chocolate Shop collection. And this one I'm not going to swatch. I've kept, I think, one, oh, except for the unicorn one. I swatched every one of those, I think. But I've been trying to keep the lightest one that I know I'm probably not going to use a lot, like to keep the embossing pristine. I know it's kind of petty, but this one I'm going to do it for a number 1 bedtime story because it's quite light. And it's also pretty similar to the last one that I swatched right there. But this one has got the white packaging. Again, weighted, really beautiful packaging. So this one is number 1, Bedtime Story. Again, I don't know why I keep putting my arm up because it's not swatched. And then the other shade, which I have worn this a few times as well, is number 3, Tartan Coat. And this is a really pretty bronzy rose. It's really, really stunning on the cheeks. And these are all matte blushes, by the way, too. Another super easy one to put on. So that one right there is Tartan Coat. And this again is from the Chocolate Shop collection. Flower Nose is just the dreamiest of brands for me. So that is actually everything that I got in that I purchased this week. And I got in some amazing PR packages that I'm going to share with you guys. BK Beauty was kind enough to send me over their entire lipstick collection, which they just launched 6 new shades. So that's kind of why they are sending out the lipsticks again. But they sent me another of the 5 shades that they had already in the collection. So I'm going to swatch all 11 shades in the range. So there's 0.12 ounces of product, or 3.5 grams, and these lipsticks are made in Canada. This is what the box packaging looks like, and the shade is on the end of the box. What I also love is that the shade is on the sticker on the bottom of the lipstick as well, so you can differentiate if you store them kind of upside down or you're looking for one. You can look on the bottom without opening them all up. And then here is the packaging. It's got the BK logo and then the sticker color on the bottom, and it's a magnetic closure, and they're very nicely weighted. This is actually the lipstick that I've got on my lips today in the shade Grace, and these lipsticks truly feel like you're putting on a hydrating lip balm, and they have great pigmentation, and they're not like slippy on the lips or anything like that, but they're very, very hydrating. You can see they have a really pretty shine too. I don't have a gloss on or anything like that, just this lipstick in the shade Grace, and it's such a pretty like neutral pink color. I'll just put some more on for you guys. So comfortable, literally feels like you're putting on a lip balm, but it's very substantial at the same time. So again, this is the shade Grace. Cats are fighting. Isn't that a pretty color? And then we've got the shade Beauty, which is a rosy pink shade. So that's the shade Beauty. And these don't have a super strong scent, but there's just the slightest bit of sweetness to them. They don't have a taste or anything like that, but just the slightest bit of sweetness, which I don't mind. I actually like a sweet smelling lip product. So that one is the shade Beauty right there. And then we have got the shade Gratitude, which is a deeper mauve. So here's Gratitude right there. And then we have got the shade Empower, which is an orange. I was tempted to like do an orange look today and wear this lipstick because I love an orange lipstick in the summer, especially. I love an orange lipstick all the time, but especially in the summer. So there is Empower right there. It's a really pretty orange. And while these are like vibrant shades, I don't feel like they're difficult shades to wear with being so vibrant, you know. They're like easy to wear. How would I just say it that way? And then we've got the shade Confidence, which is a brick kind of red. So that one is Confidence right there. And then the last shade from the new 6 that are launched is the shade Faith, which is a deep kind of raspberry color. So that one right there is the shade Faith. And then I'm going to swatch the original 5 shades as well, which this shade right here was one of my favorites. It's Self Love. It's a really easy to wear pretty pink. So that one is Self Love. And then we have got Passion. So here's Passion right here. And these are launched too, so they're up on the website, the new lipsticks. So that shade right there is Passion. And then we have got the shade Acceptance, which mine was kind of, it was really hot when these were delivered, but the bullet was like stuck to the lid. This is another one of my favorite shades. Again, it's Acceptance. As you can tell, I love all the nude or light shades, or the light pinks, the light shades. This is such a pretty color too. That is Acceptance. I'm going to swatch it next to Grace too, so you can see the difference between the two. Grace is the one that I've got on my lips today as well, just so you can kind of see them there. So again, that one is Acceptance. And then we've got Kindness, which is another really good one. It's a warm nude. This one is the shade Kindness. And then lastly is the shade Inner Beauty, which is kind of a mid-tone rose color. So that one right there is Inner Beauty. And again, that's the packaging. Just really, really, really beautiful lipsticks. I'll be excited if she even extends the range more, because the formula again is so nice. And a massive thank you to BK Beauty for sending me over their lipsticks. They're just doing really good things over there at BK Beauty. Like, I love a ton of their brushes as well. Just really nice, substantial, great soft synthetics that are super functional. And then I got a PR package from Sydney Grace, and I had kind of not been on social media a super ton because I've been really busy, and I didn't know about it, so I like immediately went to their Insta and seen that they're launching a new palette. So this is the Blessed Sydney Grace and Glitzy Fritzy eyeshadow palette. So they're collaborating with Glitzy Fritzy right there, and this palette launches on June 7th at 8 o'clock Pacific time. So that's this coming Wednesday, and the price on this is $52. So again, this is the card that came in the packaging, and this is actually the palette that I've got on my eyes today. This is the only palette that I've got on my eyes, and it's also coming in 2 shades. So I got the light version, so there's going to be a deeper version as well, which is another thing that I really like that Sydney Grace does with their products to help, you know, suit more skin tones. So the palette comes in a sleeve, and it is made in the USA. And you can see the little sticker on mine says light, because that's the light version that I got. And then the packaging mimics the sleeve on there as well. Oh, the sticker's on here too. And this palette's just been a really easy to wear but still fun, colorful palette without being too much. You guys know I love me some really bright eyeshadow. And there are some bright shades in here as well, but they're not overly done, you know. They're easier to wear, and there's some beautiful metallics. I'm checking to see if they're magnetized. Ah, they are. They're magnetized. I love that. So the name's not on the back, but the shades are magnetized inside the palette. And then there's also a mirror. And then here are your 15 shades. Did I tell you guys how much product is in here? 27 grams. So you're getting a lot of product. And then here again are your shades. So this is a standalone for me. There's a light enough brow bone shade that's a matte, and also a shimmer. And so I've got on, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, I got like 6 of the shades on my eyes today, and they blend out really nice. The mattes are pigmented. I have very little fallout, and the shimmers are almost like, you can tell there's quite a bit of mica in them, and they're very, very like metallic. But I had, again, very little fallout with this palette, if any. I don't think I hardly got any fallout with it. They blend out really nice. It was super easy to use. Nice pigmentation, so you can see those really pretty shiny shades. And then these next ones. I always get nostalgia and think about Mel Thompson every time I get something from Sydney Grace. I just like totally miss her videos, you know. And I loved her palette from Sydney Grace as well. Oh, I've got this purple on the lid. And then these next ones. And then these last 3. See, even though there are like some bright shades in there, it's, to me, it's just a very wearable but still really pretty palette. Nice pigmentation. Again, the shadows are super easy to work with as well. So that guy right there is the Sydney Grace and Glitzy Fritzy Blessed eyeshadow palette that's coming out on the 7th. So again, on Wednesday. And just a huge thank you to Sydney Grace for sending over this palette, and a congratulations to Glitzy Fritzy on her collab. And then 2 of my favorite skincare brands also sent me over PR packages. The first one is from Farmacy, and it's for the launch of their newly scented Strawberry Shortcake Cleansing Balm, which, if you've followed me for a while, I absolutely love the cleansing balm from Farmacy. It's one of my favorites. It's a product that I've purchased more times than I can even count. So it came in this big box, and there was a cookie in there and a little package of frosting and some sprinkles. So it was like a strawberry shortcake cookie. So that was sitting down there, and then here is the strawberry shortcake clean makeup melt away cleansing balm. Again, one of my favorite cleansing balms that I have ever tried. It's a 3.4 fluid ounce jar, and it does smell absolutely delicious. I'm working on a cleansing, I think I have a cleansing, I've got the Tarababyz cleansing oil in my shower right now, but yeah, I can only imagine how good this is going to smell in the shower. I wouldn't mind buying a couple more of these. I love their special scented cleansing balms, and I absolutely love the original as well. So huge thank you to Farmacy for sending over their strawberry shortcake clean makeup melt away cleansing balms. It's a great product. It's a product that when I travel, I'll travel with just this in like the 1.7, is that half of 3.4? Yeah. The 1.7 ounce jar, because I can double cleanse with it. I'll cleanse it, use it once to get off all my makeup, and then again as an actual cleanser, because it does such a good job of like cleaning the skin without stripping it and also breaking down like makeup. So when I travel, this is the only cleansing product that I need to take with me. The other PR package that I got is from Glow Recipe, which is another one of my favorite skincare brands. So they came out with the Plum Plump Hyaluronic Gloss Balm, which I'll read a little bit more about that in a minute, but I gotta show you. They always have such like cute packaging. So this was like the little sleeve that was on the box, and then you open it up and you've got the Plum Plump Hyaluronic Cream, which I'll use that at night, almost like a serum type product, because it's a thinner one than the Belief, and then I'll top the Belief over the top of it. And then the Plum Plump Hyaluronic Serum, which I'll use underneath the Plum Plump Cream, and both of those underneath the Belief. It's a whole thing, right? And then you've got the Plum Plump Hyaluronic Gloss Balm. So 0.52 ounces of product, or 15 grams in there. And it says 100% agreed lips were more nourished and dry lips were improved after one use. And I can say I've used this 3 days in a row at night, kind of like a lip mask, and there's a couple different ways that you can use it, which are on the card that came in the packaging. But when I wake up in the morning, the product is still on my lips. They actually still feel tacky, and it is the summertime, so there's a little bit of forgiveness there. I always say that you know, January, February is really when I put hydration products to the test, but so far with this guy, it was very comfortable, and the fact that I could still feel it on my lips when I woke up is a big plus for me, because not all like lip mask or lip nourishing products do that for me. They'll be dissipated by the time the morning comes. So the fact again that it's still there says something for me. So this is what the jar looks like. It's a glass jar, and this does have the slightest bit of a sweet taste, but it's not overbearing or anything like that. You'd have to really like lick the product off your lips to get like too much sweetness, if you will, but it's just very light on the sweet, and just the lightest bit of a plum scent. It's not a lot at all though. And this is what it looks like, and it does look like a glossy balm, which is what it's called. So you can kind of see the shine that it gives right there. And then the card here, it says celebrity makeup artist Colby Smith uses it for lip prep, a glossy primer, and also a gloss top coat. So 3 different ways that he had used it. And before I kind of read all of the literature, I'm one of those who like just dives into the product before reading directions and stuff. I went in with it as a lip mask and have been enjoying it as a nightly lip mask. But should we like dab some on over this lipstick? This BK Beauty lipstick is already quite shiny, but let's put some on anyway, see if it adds a little bit of extra shine to my lips, even though they're quite shiny. Gosh, that really tells me, now that I put this gloss balm on over the BK Beauty lipstick, it really tells me just how balmy and like lip balm feeling the BK Beauty lipsticks are, because I don't notice a ton of difference. I guess there's a little bit more of a slip factor with the Glow Recipe on top of it compared to BK Beauty, but gosh, those lipsticks are so comfortable. I also saw that Farmacy launched a new lip balm type product too that I've been eyeing. I think it's up on Sephora right now too, but I'm super happy to have this. I saw promos of this, I think probably on Instagram or somewhere, that this was going to be launched, and I got excited about it because I like a lot of products from Glow Recipe. So a huge thank you to them for sending this over. Again, this is their new Shampoo Plum Plump Hyaluronic Gloss Balm, a multi-use ultra moisturizing lip balm that deeply hydrates the lips, leaving a glossy, non-sticky finish and plump lip look. Packed with hydrating, antioxidant-rich ingredients like kakadu plum, hyaluronic acid, and raspberry extract, this juicy treatment smooths lips and instantly locks in moisture for a plump, buttery soft pout. Kiss dry, cracked lips goodbye. Also adore their cute packaging. And that is everything that I have for my haul today. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I will see you guys later. Bye.